It's true. When I get like the big soft pretzel, I do knock some of the salt off there because even those soft pretzels,
those are a lot, and they're because the
lot.
crystals are like quarter size. It's ridiculous.
But we have big salt here. We don't have like your little tiny granules.
Oh, you don't have my fine coarse salt. You have like crystallized salt. Really?
Man salt.
Man salt. There's the salt that men with. Yeah. All right.
Punches you right in the arteries every time you eat it. Ah, yes.
Kablam! Salt.
I like to feel it coursing through my veins, scraping up the
Clogging
inside.
up your arteries.
Yeah.
You're disgusting, and I love it. Good for you.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna fill up my water. I've been drinking a lot of water. Oh, yeah, hold that face. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Go.
Welcome to Hey Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
And Tony, are you ready to Dumbo?
You just pointed out my least favorite part of the whole movie. I can't remember the last time I got so mad at a person being in a movie. I was livid. Not only at him, because that's a terrible cash grab for this guy. Like, you should have said no.
Good for him. Good for him.
No, not good for him. You have integrity, sir, and you are in the ring. You are doing real shit, and here you are at fucking Dumbo. Oh, but my God, I was so mad. So mad when that came up.
So on today's show, we're going to be talking about Tim Burton's 2019 Dumbo.
Timmy B!
Clocking in at an hour and 57 minutes. Luckily, with about 13 minutes of credits.
I don't care. It was too long. This is a slog.
How long do you think the original Dumbo was?
I think it was about 87 minutes.
63.
63! I overshot it! Oh my gosh! We used to know how to make movies. You tell a story, you get out. You know what I mean? Hit it, quit it.
It's like four songs, 3 scenes, done.
And we're done. Yeah, a little emotion, which was missing from this movie, and then you're out.
So this movie is Dumbo, Tim Burton's Dumbo. Somebody else wrote it.
Oh, okay. That actually helps a little bit for me.
At least I'm dying over here. Why am I dying?
You got a frog in your throat, as they used to say.
Yeah. So, Dumbo, live action Dumbo, live action. Yeah. Would you call this live action?
I mean, yeah, because you got real people running around cartoon elephants. You know what I mean? CGI. I shouldn't insult the art of CGI by calling it a cartoon. I'm sorry.
So basically, we start off with the Medici brothers. They're leaving their winter grounds in Florida, 1919. We have a train. Danny DeVito is the Medici brothers. And at some point, we get explained to us that he doesn't have a brother and he doesn't have a family. And so he invented the family because I don't understand.
Period. No, you missed cause, period. And that's it. That's the end of the explanation. It doesn't make a lick of sense. I have absolutely no idea.
I was like, okay, I'm waiting for the evil twin brother, Danny DeVito, doing the double duty. Nice circus owner, also mean
I'd be okay
circus
with
owner.
that. Yeah, I'm down for that, 100%. And then you kick out the mean one, and then he's just great, nothing.
Nothing.
Nope, just a guy that was like, brothers. I'm gonna be brothers.
Casey Jr. is the name of the train. In the original Dumbo, we had Casey Jr.'s coming down the track with the track. Nice peppy song about the train. Okay. This one, somebody I think plays it on the ukulele at one point. Like as a sad dirge of death.
The sea lady? What was her thing?
The mermaid lady.
Yeah. Merman. Anyhow.
Which then gets fixed because then another guy goes in the tank, not tank with her, does Shakespeare, but she was supposed to be doing Shakespeare, and he's
and somehow
not
that
facing
makes
the audience.
Attractment good. I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, from where this thing starts and they are making very little money to where it ends, their show changes not at all. So I don't understand how they suddenly think they're going to make money.
Well, they stop moving, and then they have a science pavilion that just shows movies.
which is not science.
Which actually is science, and actually would have been a way to make a lot of money if they made so much money on those little things where they just showed like little 10-minute movies.
Really?
Yeah, huge business.
Huh. Boy, I wish I could do that now. I could play movies all day.
Yeah,
I'll play movies anywhere you want, guys. Pay me $10 a pop.
The initial thing is very pretty. I was like, this is very pretty. You know, the grass and the circus stuff, although weathered, I was like, it's very pretty.
And he does a lot of sunsets shots, which are, visually nice. They don't mean anything, but...
And then as the movie goes along, everything gets ugly.
Yeah, it gets browner and browner as you go. Because, because evil's creeping in because of capitalism. How am I doing? Am I getting the message?
Yeah. Now...
Yeah, moving on.
Who's this movie for, Tony?
Well, it's not for me. I can tell you, I don't know who it's for, but I can tell you damn sure who it's not for, and that's me.
Would a child find anything in this movie enjoyable?
No, because here's the thing, because I haven't seen the original Dumbo in 30 years. I don't know, since I was a child, right?
Yeah.
But I do remember there being an element of magic to it, like wonder and something cool happening. I never felt a wonder. Everything is drab. Everything is dreary. Everybody sucks in this movie. And it's just, no one's going to watch this movie and be like, oh, wow, it's magical elephant. It's terrible. So I don't know. No, a child would hate it.
Now, when you were a kid, what were the movies you beloved? Other than Blank Check.
There's a big one off the table. Ninja Turtles. Loved that movie. Fantasia. Loved that movie. Yeah, Fantasia. Magic and shit.
You sit there and listen to the music. You love that music. The music, you get into it.
I'll be honest, I only remember the Mickey Mouse one.
Oh,
where he's doing the... Yeah. What age are you looking for? Because I got different answers. The Mannequin, that was a big one in my house. We used to love Mannequin. I had that shit memorized.
But like, if your mom put this Dumbo on, you'd murder her in her sleep, right?
I would murder before the movie's over. I would, about 15 minutes in, I've become a totally different child. Everything is terrible. The world is gray, and I murdered her. What are you going to do? Not my fault. I'm blaming the movies.
Now, the original Dumbo, the animals all talk. The people also talk, but they don't, mostly the people are kind of separate. And so the animals talk. Dumbo gets born. Dumbo has these embarrassingly large ears, and all of the other, first all the elephants are like, tut, 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 ugh, you're embarrassing, you're a freak.
That makes sense to me.
And it's kind of like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, where it's like Rudolph was pushed aside. And this is something that happens to kids all the time. You feel outside, and then at some point you find your tribe, and you become part of something.
Yeah, 100%. The Monster Squad, that was also a big one from my childhood that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Let's
spend 1 second looking at the Monster Squad. Monster Squad is
about more time if you want. I'll take all the time you want.
Bunch of stupid kids.
Oh, I'll give that to you. Yeah, okay. Who tread carefully here, Dan Goodsell.
Encounter monsters and then have to do something with the monster. They have to interact with the monsters and solve this interdimensional problem and stop Dracula from doing whatever Dracula stuff he's wanted to do.
It's some bad stuff.
So you immediately can transport yourself into these kids' shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And imagine I'm there fighting with Frankenstein. I'm there kissing werewolf. I'm there teaching, whatever. Whatever.
Now you want to kiss. I'll tell you who you want to kiss is the lady vampires, Dracula's concubines. Oh boy, that's a good scene. Woo, they're coming. They're ready to seduce Rudy, and Rudy has to stab them, and it's fucking good, man.
And Tony's like, give in, Rudy, give in.
Don't do it, Rudy. Just do one. Just take it one time, buddy. He doesn't do it. He does the right thing. What a chicken.
But there's something for the kids to identify with. In this movie, there's two kids, Millie and random smaller male child.
Thank you. I don't know his name. Do we hear his name in the movie?
We hear his name a couple of times near the end.
I don't believe you. Unless you can prove it to me. Give me a time code of when this happens. I don't believe you. I have no idea what his name is. Are you looking through your notes to see if you wrote his name?
Because I wrote it down at one point because I was like, I gotta write down that kid's name because I always usually I write down the names when I first, you're not gonna
find it, Dan. You're not gonna find it. I'm telling you right now.
It's in here. It's in the notes.
There's not a chance. They never say it.
Oh no, they absolutely say it. Okay, so basically, can you imagine any kid identifying with either of these children?
I really cannot. And here's my reasoning. I don't know. I'm sure there's an actual reason of why you logical and whatnot that you're going to tell me in a minute. Again, don't even know the one kid's name, the little boy. He does nothing in this movie. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do something cool. He doesn't do anything like noticeable. Nothing. And then Millie is blank-faced the whole time. She's dead inside. This poor child has no emotions, no feelings. I just can't relate to them.
I liked Millie, but it was like I would have liked a movie about her.
Sure. You know what? Have you seen The Last of Us yet?
What's that? Oh, that's
okay,
the.
First of all, we need to have a conversation.
The fungus zombie movie. Sure.
Yeah. Based on the video game on HBO. Yeah.
I already. Oh yeah.
She's in it. Millie plays Joel's daughter. Doesn't really matter. No spoilers for anything, but she's wonderful. She's wonderful in it.
Oh, the very short-lived right at the episode 1.
Okay, I said no spoilers, Dan, but yes, that is correct.
I gotta just tell everybody about Last of Us. Everybody dies. Just go into every episode and just you'll be like, oh, one of these characters has to survive this episode. No,
wrong.
No, they all die.
Wrong. It's called The Last of Us. Okay, so
they aren't kidding.
They are not kidding. It's a dark show. I liked it, but it's very dark.
Great show.
Anyhow, she's great in that, and she has emotions and she has fun, and I was just like, I had just watched that because we just finished it this week, and then we went back to this, and I was like, who cast her based on this movie? I would have never given her another job, but I'm glad she did. I'm glad someone saw through it.
See, that's the thing. Like in Peter Pan, the poor Peter Pan kid, I was just like, oh, this kid.
Oh, he's terrible. She's not terrible.
She's not terrible.
You're right. Yes.
I was ready to be invested in her, and then they don't
give you anything.
They gave her nothing for you to be to go with on her. You're like, oh, because she smiles some at the end, and you're like, oh, okay, this girl's cute.
She smiles some at the end, so she showed emotion. It's not her fault. I'll agree with you. It's not her fault, but there's nothing to hold on to here.
No, very little.
These kids are nothing.
So, so Millie's the little girl. She's playing doctor to these mice, which one of those mice is like Dumbo's actual counterpart in the real Dumbo movie, who's like the little mouse.
No, I do remember that.
He sort of hangs out with Dumbo and is Dumbo's buddy. He's like, hey, Dumbo, what are you doing there, boy?
The 50s were a wild time, huh?
So the kids go, oh, here comes the train. They go down to meet the train. Here comes Dad. Dad shows up missing an arm.
And everyone treats him like a leper. Listen, times are obviously different, right? But would everyone be so mean to him?
Yeah, they probably would, actually. They probably would.
Oh, man, that's some shit. Oh, that's tough.
When all those guys came back from Vietnam, everybody was like, go to hell. And I mean, maybe he'd be sort of treated like a war hero for 5 minutes, and then everybody would kind of be like, ugh.
Because we're a bad species.
Back then, they wouldn't know how to react to someone that had a disability like
that. I guess that's fair. It's just so sad. Because he's had a rough time. Obviously, he comes home to see his kids, and the kids are like, monster. That's not what you want.
And it's a really interesting thing. He shows up, and the kids are like looking at him, and they just sort of stand there. But that's the thing. They're neither afraid of him or
they just
running to him. Like, they just sort of like,
they're basically just like, well, that's not our father. We don't know this crazy man.
It's a little bit
It's weird.
it's a little bit pod people. Like they don't kind of believe that he's their dad. There's like
Yeah.
we don't believe you're real.
They're just waiting. They're waiting for confirmation one way or the other. I feel like they're like, what is happening? Who is this? I don't know this man.
We also set up that the mom died while he was at war. And, normally you'd have one of these kids blame him, right? And be pissed off at him and like, you
have some emotional weight to it. Yeah, great. I love that idea.
They choose not to do any of that.
No. It's fine. Everyone's pretty much okay with her death, I guess.
Now, the little girl, Millie, carries this key around her neck. Tony, why don't you explain to them the arc of what the key means to her and where she got it and how it sort of embodies her character?
Okay, great. So the key was given to her by her mother.
Yeah.
And maybe from her grandmother to the mother. It might have been passed down, and it's about doors that it's not a real key. It's a key. It's a
metaphorical.
It's a metaphor, but it's a physical metaphor because it's a real key. It just doesn't go to a lock, but it's about opening doors.
Yeah. And we constantly circle back to that through the movie, right? Again and again, we hit that thing, right?
Yeah, we hit those doors. Yeah, the doors are big in this one. I've never seen her go through a door, but I think that, emotionally, she's thinking about it. That's her motivation as an actor. And then she throws it into a fire. Did I get it?
And she throws it in the fire to teach Dumbo that he's got to let go.
That he doesn't need to open doors? I don't know.
And I mean, they just never let you not see that key. That key is always like front and center.
It's prominent on her chest, always. It's super important, Dan. You missed the symbolism, okay? It's there all over the place. There's doors left and right.
So he gets home. Everybody sort of greets him. The circus is half its size. Danny DeVito gets this whole weird bit with the monkey that we hit that 3 or 4 times in the movie. It never works.
It doesn't work. But you know that I'm a proponent of hitting things until they work. The problem for me is that it just dissipates. They kind of give up on it like 2/3 of the way through the movie. There has to be a final monkey bit that makes me go, there it is. That was worth the 4 other bits that weren't funny.
Well, and if the monkey was like this agent of chaos and this agent of chaos like drove something in the movie and it actually had some effect, it doesn't. It's just like, we could fill up a little space right here.
In the last 20 minutes of action where they're stealing elephants, this guy's got to be doing some shit. This monkey's got to be doing something. He is doing nothing. What a waste. What a waste.
Then he tasks the strong man to go find the monkey because the strong man has to do everything in the circus, play in the band, do the books.
I don't understand this bit.
Is Danny DeVito's character in like a sexual relationship with the strong man?
Oh, interesting.
I sort of felt that for a second.
I hope he is. Good for him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good work if you can get it.
And then
that's interesting. I feel like I wish I would have looked at it through that because I don't know. I didn't pick up on anything, but I hope so.
Just in that very first scene, I saw something and then it.
Oh, and then it went away.
Went away like smoke.
So everything else in this movie, where they're like, "Hey, maybe this could be an interesting idea." Never mind.
So Danny DeVito sold Holt's horses, which you think they're his horses, but they sold his horses.
Right. I actually am curious about that. Just real quickly, Dan. So you own a circus, right?
Yes.
And I am like, hey, I've got an act where I ride horses around.
Yes.
Am I bringing the horses? Are they my horses? Or do you have horses? And I'm like, hey, I could ride those horses.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Probably they would be your horses because you will have trained them.
Okay, and how can he even sell them? That doesn't seem right.
It's one of those, like everything in this movie, it's just like, well, we've got to take away his horses. Well, then we'll say he sold the horses. Okay, sold the horses. That's fine.
And he doesn't seem all that mad. That's why I'm asking, because I would be fucking livid.
Well, that would involve there being emotions in the movie. There are no emotions in the movie. Dispense with that thought.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And then we get the thing I found one of the most interesting things. We're in the thing, and he's like, "Oh, you got to get your kids to do acts," and Lily's like, "I don't want to do that." And then the stupid boy like does a headstand, and they ignore the boy.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, not that the headstand is something huge, but like, okay, he wants to tumble. Let's work on it. Let's embrace the fact that he has an interest in what we want, and let's expand on it. I don't why is everyone like, oh no, but Millie, you have to do something. It doesn't make any sense.
They shame the girl, which is a thing they would never do. They would ignore the girl. That's the whole idea. Is the girl has some skill, and then
she could really contribute, and they're like, no, you're a girl. Don't worry about it. What's this boy gonna do?
The reason why we go down these tropes is because they work and they lead to comedy and they lead to things that we understand. It's not just a matter of deciding that because we want to humiliate the boy and pump up the girl. It's because that's the way the world works, unfortunately.
Oh, and especially at this time, right? Like, this isn't even a modern day movie. No. So let's lean into what the world was really like then. Maybe just a little bit.
When you're watching Wizard of Oz, they're not, Dorothy, you need to go get a job and do all this stuff. They're just like, oh, Dorothy, kind of useless girl.
Walk down the street.
Go deliver eggs. Go get some eggs. Don't do anything important. Eggs.
You can't even do that right.
So, Colin Farrell, right? Colin Farrell. That's the Colin we're dealing with.
That is the Colin we're dealing with.
He's a big mopey dopey boring puss.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
It is so. He's one of my favorite guys out there. Right? He's so good, and they take everything that he's good at and just like, don't do that. No, too charming. Let's do another take. Flatten it out. Just take all of that charm, suck it out of your body, go again.
Did you see Banshees of Inisherin?
Unfortunately, I have not.
Oh.
But I feel like I should, because it looks wonderful and he's wonderful.
He's amazing. He plays an idiot, and he just plays an idiot with joyful abandon, and you love it.
I do. I love him, except for not in this movie. I hate him. And it's not his fault.
He goes to his trunk, opens the trunk, and sees all his science equipment, and is like, science equipment, here's what's important, a saddle.
Yeah. Why wouldn't science be a good thing in this world? You know what I mean? I feel like you could do a lot with science.
I thought that was going to be one of the aspects of the movie.
Okay. Well, me too. I guess that's what I'm saying as well. Yeah, me too. All right. Never mind.
So we have this new elephant that's pregnant that Danny DeVito has bought, and so he's hoping to get a baby elephant, sort of. And
why? Just because people like babies?
Baby elephant would be a huge draw. Absolutely.
Okay.
Back then.
Okay. Cool.
Way back when they brought like the first hippopotamuses over and they used to exhibit them, lines around the corner.
Okay.
Just to literally look at hippopotamus.
I guess that's actually true because like the San Diego Zoo a few years ago had a baby something, and that was like on all of their ads. It was like, we have a baby this. And I was like, I don't care. I've seen the adult one. What does it matter? But okay. That makes a lot of sense.
That's because these kind of movies have drained all the soul out of you, Tony.
You're probably right. I'm living in a Dumbo world, and I don't need to see no babies.
So we meet the mean elephant herder, Rufus, and luckily, spoilers, he's going to get killed pretty quick, which is the one positive thing I'll say about this movie.
I didn't realize he died.
Didn't he die? They carried him out.
No, he 100% dies, and they put him in a sheet, and they put him in a hospital thing. I didn't realize he died, Dan. 20 minutes later, I was like, where is that dude? And it was like, he was the one in the ambulance. I was like, what? Are you sure? Apparently, he dies in the tent. I didn't know. I somehow missed who it was that was dead.
So he's being mean to her. That stuff's very hard to watch. It's very hard to watch.
As it usually is when we abuse animals, yeah. Yeah. And if there was like a huge redemption arc, I would love it. I don't feel like we get that here, but it's fine.
Oh, you mean for humans in general being horrible?
Yeah, humans in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Humans are horrible.
Yeah, we are. We're the worst.
Boom, they see movement under the straw. Lo and behold, here comes the baby elephant or the baby monster because he has large-ish ears.
All right, so Dan, I need to talk about the entire crux of this movie.
You mean how it falls apart right here?
Well, to me it does, and I have some questions for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in a circus, right?
Circus.
We've got a bearded lady. We've got a mermaid.
Yes.
We've got some other, freaks, quote unquote. Isn't that like what they sell at the circus?
Yeah.
So if you get an elephant with freakishly huge ears, how are you not just seeing dollar signs? I would be like, holy shit, we hit the jackpot. We've got the strangest elephant in the world. We're going to sell it across it. People are going to come from all over the place. Why is everyone mad? I don't get it.
Well, they're mad because in the original movie, the elephants look at the elephant and say, that elephant's not like us. It's a freak.
Sense. That makes sense because he's not like his brothers and his sisters and his mothers and his fathers and his uncles. Like he is different. But when we're the humans looking at it and we're selling freaks, that's how we get people to come to our show. I feel like I would be thrilled. I feel Danny DeVito should be like, oh my God, we're gonna be rich.
But yeah, and in the original movie, I don't think the humans ever had any problem with him. They just were trying to find the place to fit him in.
Right, which that makes sense. You got to tailor a show around him. Okay, just be like the elephant with the huge ears. What's going to happen? And you hide him at first, and then poof, you pop him out. People are like, oh my gosh. Anyhow, I was very confused. It seems like he should be thrilled.
And more importantly, it's as if these people have seen 100 different baby elephants, and they're like, this is the super cute one. This is the hit. And more importantly, he's super cute.
Adorable. Did you see those big blue eyes, Dan? Oh, I want one. I want one.
It's not like he looks weird. He looked weird to other elephants, not to human beings.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Your crux of the whole Act 2 of the movie doesn't work.
Doesn't make a gosh darn bit of sense. It is stupid.
They throw Rufus in the...
This is where I stopped paying attention, by the way. This is where I got out my phone and I started playing games.
So, boom. They find out Rufus gets thrown in the water. Danny DeVito's like, I want my money back, Hopefully no one told the newspaper that we have a baby elephant, which I don't know how they could have told the newspaper they had a baby elephant because they just found out they had a baby elephant while they were standing there.
Here's what happened, Dan. They do explain it in the movie. Dan DeVito's taking a bath. Okay. He's taking a bath and he's got his cucumbers or some shit. And without knowing that the baby has been born, he senses it because he's got a sixth sense about these things. He jumps and says, baby, we've got a baby. And then he turns and goes, call the newspaper. Tell them we have a baby. And then he goes outside and this whole scene happens. And then he's like, I hope no one told the newspaper. And the guy's like, well, I did because you told me to. And he's like, don't ever do things that I told you to do without checking with me, which is a funny line.
And that comes back.
But
they hit that one 2 or 3 more times through the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Callback after callback. No, there's 8 or 9 callbacks to it. It's really great. No, they never come back to that. Why would they do that, Dan?
So the little girl, Millie, takes the mice in to show the mice to the elephant. Just because the mouse is in the original Dumbo and is friends with the elephant, but
I guess that makes, when you say it like that, it makes more sense than someone who didn't remember that and is just watching. And I was like, well, you're just going to get that mouse killed. I mean, that's what's going to happen right now. I don't know.
And then we set up the whole thing that they give him a feather, and when he sucks a feather into his trunk, then he flies, and then he sort of learns to fly. And then they're like, we can't tell Dad about him flying because Dad's such a prick.
Okay. I wish that they would have said that, by the way. That would have made it great. Okay, I got more questions here. Yeah. In the original Dumbo, is that how he flies?
I don't think so. He actually only flies, I'm pretty sure. I kind of skipped through it because I didn't watch the whole thing, and then I have it on and was just listening to the songs, which are great.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
I believe he only flies at the very end of the movie.
Wait, what?
Like literally at the very end of the movie, he flies because he gets.
So the entire movie isn't about trying to make him fly on command?
No, of course not.
Oh shit! Okay,
No,
this is throwing me for a loop a little bit here, Dan.
Yeah, he flies, and then once he flies, he becomes basically the biggest thing in the world. Not surprisingly,
As he would, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so confused right now. So
Yeah, the end
hold
of the movie is basically newspaper headlines: "Elephant flies, elephant, 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 greatest thing ever."
Which would be all that it takes, and you're the richest man in the world.
Yep,
without a doubt.
Yep.
Which is why this movie doesn't make any fucking sense. But okay, so let's. Oh Jesus! So how do elephants eat? They have a mouth, so they eat out of the mouth, right? And then they drink out of the nose? Is that how elephants work? How do elephants work, Dan? I need an animal lesson here. Because what is
they drink out the nose. Okay. So basically, I believe that they can use the trunk to suck up some water and then blow it out. They don't drink through the nose.
Don't even. Okay.
If they're drinking, they go like this, and then they pick up water, put it in their mouth.
Oh, and they put it in their own mouth. Yeah. Oh, that's adorable. God, elephants are cute, by the
Very
way.
Cute.
Okay, so what happens to the feather? So he sucks up a feather.
Nothing good.
Nothing.
Did I ever?
Where does it go? He doesn't throw it back out ever.
Yeah, he does. Does he usually, I think a couple times he does poof it back out at the end.
Then what good is it? Then why does he need the feather in his nose?
I have no idea, man.
All right, Dan. If you can't explain to me this movie, this children's movie, I'm out. I can't handle it.
Did I ever tell you about my grandma and the peanut?
There's no way you've told me this story.
So when I was a kid, there was always this sort of apocryphal story about a person putting a peanut up their nose and then it gets stuck there forever.
In the shell or out of shell?
No, out of the shell.
Out of the shell. Okay.
It was a peanut or it was a bean. It was a bean. So
I mean, they're about the same size, right?
So yeah. So this, you had this story. So I was always very afraid of putting things up my nose like that because I was afraid.
As you should be, because it's not a good idea.
So like a couple years ago, talking to my dad, I don't know why I brought it up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that happened to your grandma." I'm like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, when she was a kid, she stuck a bean up her nose, right? And it stayed there until she moved in with him when she was very old and she was having problems. And they took her to the doctor, like as an 80-year-old woman. Took her to the doctor.
Wait.
The doctor's like, there's a nut up your nose. So since she was like, maybe 10, for 60 or 70 years, she had a nut up her nose, which fucked up all of her smelling. And he pulled it out and she was able to smell again.
No, there's no way that that's real, Dan. Look at me in the eye and tell me that you're telling me the truth.
I swear to God.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I don't understand it. It's the craziest story ever.
I mean, I'm not laughing at her pain.
No, I know.
But this is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Okay, hold on. We got to go back. Let's go back. So there was before.
I wish I was lying to you because it'd be so much funnier, but it's not. It's not a lie.
Okay, so there's definitely like a saying, like a what do you call those when you tell children don't make your face because it's gonna stay that way? What's that called?
Fairy tale? No, not fairy tale.
Like a warning of some
wives'
sort.
tale, I guess, sort of.
An old, that's great. I feel like maybe is that sexist now? An old wives' tale?
Sure, we can.
Interesting. Okay, sorry, an old person's tale.
An old ancestral tale.
Ooh, I like that. That sounds nice.
Yeah.
And that happened before? Was that around before your grandma did this?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's hard to be sure.
I have to look that up.
Or did she start it? Because my thing is, I'm positing that she might have been the beginning of this whole thing.
Because we talked about it when I literally remember, being like 9 or 10 and talking about it with some other kids. And maybe I was talking about my grandma. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe she didn't remember that this happened to her, but she kind of did. And she was telling this story like, you shouldn't do that because it's going to and didn't realize she was telling about herself. And then it grew and grew. She's Agent Zero, Dan. She is the beginning of this myth. And I love it. But also, that's incredible. and when she was, still young, but a little bit older, they take it out and she's like,
She
holy
got it.
cow, I can smell again.
Yeah.
That's one of the most insane things I've ever heard.
Pretty crazy story.
That's amazing. That is
Yeah.
a great story,
It's a
Dan.
weird one.
You're a weird one. Dan Goodsell.
Okay, so yeah, elephants. Big top baby
Right, yeah.
elephant. Okay, so we go to nighttime. We see the sideshow. People are coming to the thing. We got the big top. Here comes the baby elephant. When they doing the baby elephant, they shoot through this fisheye lens. You want to talk about the fisheye lens? They shoot the baby elephant's POV.
I mean, listen, I have never seen through an elephant's eyes, so I guess I don't know if it's all fucked up, but it seems weird. It seems like it's a fish. Because they also do some sort of like a haze to it, where elephants apparently can't see clear, because that's what I got out of it. Maybe she's underwater, or like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It distorts it, and it's stupid. It's stupid. It was a bad call. Tim, bad call, Tim.
So he sucks a feather off a lady's hat, and she's wearing a wig. It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then
it's a good joke.
He blows off his own costume because he was in like the baby carriage, and then the sign falls down, so it says Dumbo, and then everybody starts laughing, and then his mom comes to the rescue, and then the mom starts knocking over the whole tent.
Well, you're underselling what happened before the mom comes in. This baby's upset. Everyone's laughing.
Yeah.
One dude's screaming at him and yelling, yeah, rah, rah. And the mom came and saved his life.
Oh yeah, she did the right thing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing if they did it right, but they do it like shit.
And yeah, Holt tries to calm him, and then Rufus attacks, and then the elephant bumps into the post, and the whole thing falls down, and then the elephant... How did the elephant kills Rufus somehow? I think he's hiding under the stand.
The elephant does. Yeah, I think it just collapses and he dies in the tent.
That's probably
I think that's all it is.
And so then we have this sort of, this is when we get they do the Baby Mine song, which is one of the songs from the thing on ukulele,
which is very pretty.
Yeah,
I like it. I thought it was very pretty.
The mom is locked up. Dumbo misses his mom. And then the evil guy comes and buys the elephant back at half price. Half price. A quarter price. Okay, half price. Take it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't understand the motivation of selling the elephant just because you upset an elephant.
You got to get rid of that killer elephant. You can't keep a killer elephant around.
But it's not a killer elephant. You were poking and prodding and yelling, and it just defended itself.
That's movies. You know, if somebody dies when there's an elephant around, you gotta killer elephant. It's gotta go.
Yeah, we're dumb. We're
rules.
very dumb.
Them's
the rules.
The kids are like, Dad, you gotta stop this from happening. And then he's like, Mom.
This
and then
is my favorite part of the movie.
That. And then he's like, Mom's not here. But he doesn't say it mean. He's just like,
great
Mom's
parenting.
Not here.
Yeah, just great parenting. Just like this guy is totally given up. He has he's not trying at all. He's not going to raise his kids. He's not going to take care of himself. He's not going to help the circus. This guy has given up completely. Mom's not here.
And
then walks off.
Until a woman shows sexual interest in him, he is not a man.
And here's the thing. That's the one part of the movie that I agree with. Ava Green. Oh, my.
Even in a terrible movie like this, she cannot do wrong.
No, sir. She shines. She shines brightly. And I love it.
That's the thing. When she and Michael Keaton showed up in this movie, I was just like, oh, why?
Why would you do that?
So the kids go bond with Dumbo, and they're like, we got to teach him to fly, and we're going to use the scientific method. Talk about the scientific method they use to teach Dumbo to fly.
Isn't it just keep trying? Is there other parts to this other than suck up a feather?
They had the flags, the red flag and the green flag.
Oh, sure. They were like, check your ear. That's all I know.
Don't you remember when they taught him all of this? Don't you remember that big extensive scene
was there
of all
a
the teaching?
montage that I missed? What did I miss the montage? The Rocky moment?
Oh, you were watching the extra long version where we have all the
The
scientific method
director's
stuff
cut?
put in there?
Now, what is the scientific method? Because I know I learned it,
Oh,
but I don't remember it. Test,
test,
repeat,
test.
hypothesize.
You
Those aren't the right
you
order.
hypothesize, then you
Yep.
test,
Test,
and then you look at
proof.
your results, and then you make a proof, and then you test again. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So I don't understand anything.
Oh, we didn't do any of that.
What do you think? Let's take a minute and let's get in the writers' room for a second, Dan. What would you put as their hypotheses?
Get elephant to fly.
Right, which we already know can happen. So that one's a little weird to me.
They proved it. Give them a feather.
And they proved it. You know what? They did use it. You're wrong. They used the scientific method.
You know, they
check
should
it. Green check. Red check. You're flying.
They should have said like white feather, black feather, large feather, small feather, medium
Sure.
feather.
What makes him fly, baby? Let's find out. No. This daughter, guess what? Not that good at science, but it's not her fault. Her dad doesn't nurture the science in her. So
later on, when Eva Green's trying to get the Dumbo to fly, she like sort of taps him on the leg, and he lifts his leg up. Why do you do that?
I think that's their signal for ready to go. I'm not basing that on anything from the movie. I'm just saying that in my head, they had a whole scene where that she's teaching him like this is how we know we're ready to go.
And the great thing, this sort of jumping ahead, they show us that twice in the movie.
Yeah. But never learning it.
We don't explain it. We don't understand it. It's never talked about.
It's an unspoken rule of animals flying, Dan. You just don't know it.
Okay, the circus continues. Now we're using Dumbo as a clown fireman. And then...
Can I just say real quickly, the clown makeup on the elephant is terrifying to me. Like, it's really scary. I did not enjoy it.
Now... Did they expect Dumbo to fly? No, they didn't. They just expected him to go up on the ladder and squirt.
I think they expected him to die, Dan, because they sent this baby elephant on a tiny platform 50 feet into the air.
And
that's a bad move.
They spent a lot of time training the elephant how to do that, right?
Yeah, totally. We must have just not seen it. Must have been weeks of work.
To expect a wild animal to go ascend on a platform with water in its nose to put out a fire is insane.
You are right about that.
So, boom, boom, boom. Everything goes wrong. Then the little girl climbs up there, gives him the feather. He flies around and puts out the fire. And she falls into the water. That was I thought he was going to fly down there and catch her.
Yeah, that would have been a great moment, a great bonding moment, and a great hero moment. Here's the thing about this circus.
Hold on a second.
It's in terrible shape.
Okay, wait. You do your circus thing. I'll do my thing.
This is the worst. Everything is broken in this circus. The flame thing broke off, so then the flames are everywhere. The tent fell down last time just because someone bumped a pole. I mean, this thing's a piece of shit. Everyone should be. I hope they unionize because they're in trouble.
It's bad. I mean, imagine this. Here's what I'm going to posit. Dumbo. Yeah. Flies down, catches the girl, saves the girl. Everybody's like, "Wow!" And then the girl flies with Dumbo on the back, right?
Yeah, which is what I thought was going to happen anyhow, because she was going to be a part of the circus. That didn't happen.
And then when Eva Green comes out and is supposed to ride the elephant, you'd have been like, "Oh, that's why they want her to ride the elephant."
Exactly. Yeah, that all makes sense. That's a good movie.
Boom, boom, boom. Circus is saved. Car horn. They hear a car horn, and the kids think that their mom is back. What is that? Why did I write that down?
I thought the kids thought that it was Dumbo's mom. I thought they thought it was an elephant.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Something stupid. I mean, it doesn't make more sense, but you know.
And boom, here comes the evil rich guy, Vanderveer, played by Michael Keaton.
Is that the real guy? This is a fake guy.
That's fake guy, based on...
Who's Hugh Jackman?
P.T. Barnum? He's kind of a P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, P.T. Barnum. Yep. Okay, thank you. I was confused.
Give us some feelings about what's going on with Vanderveer. What's his deal?
His deal is he's got the craziest hair I've ever seen in my life. It's so funny. And I can't decide if it's like a plastic wig that just doesn't move, or if they spent 3 hours styling his hair every day in the makeup trailer. I don't know. It's a mystery that I'll never have solved. Those are my only feelings towards him. Everything else sucks. And I love Michael Keaton. I love him, but he sucks.
He just doesn't know where he's at. He doesn't know if he's supposed to be playing a sophisticated guy or a carny guy or a rich guy or a poor guy, or he shifts in and out of all of these different things.
Sometimes in the same scene, Dan. That's it's a different cut, so it might have been different takes. I don't know, but he changes like motivations and characterizations from moment to moment within a scene, and I have to believe Tim Burton just was like, let's do it 4 different ways, and then I'll mix and match in the edit room. Doesn't make any sense.
Having problems saving local backup sound.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
My computer's all super maxed out on its sound. I mean, on all the files. Oh, I should turn things off.
All right. Well, maybe we'll be in trouble. Maybe the people out there will be thrilled because our episode will be less than an hour then.
Okay, I turned off some stuff. Let me turn this off too.
All right, you got to do you.
That might help a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so the evil guy's there. He wants the elephant. Evil Black steps in poo. You want to talk about stepping in poo?
He didn't even seem to care. I don't understand it. I don't know. Is it a joke?
I don't know.
Because it's not like a gotcha moment, right? Someone just steps in it. We show it, and then they go and then we move on.
Yep, that's what happens.
Nobody makes a big deal out of it. It's a huge pile of poo because it's an elephant. I don't know, man. I don't understand this movie at all.
So we set up that they're going to become partners with him, and he runs Dreamland in Coney Island. We have the parade to Dreamland. Dumbo's in this really restrictive cage where no one can see the Dumbo.
Nobody can see the new attraction that we bought. Yeah, that's the way to make ticket sales. Idiots.
So weird.
I don't know.
We see all this stuff. We see the wonders of Science Pavilion. We see like rocket ship to the moon. We see all these great things. And we're like,
this seems cool.
Gonna be cool and interesting.
Oh yeah. But it's not. Spoiler alert.
They get to this equestrian pavilion. They show Holt this big banner where he's gonna be like back on horseback with one arm, and it's gonna be amazing. And I was like, wow, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Well, that's too bad, Dan, because you didn't get to see it.
And then, boom, we learn that Evil Black's character, whose name is Colette, is going to fly on Dumbo's back.
Now, why? That's it. Why? I don't understand. Why is that? First of all, she's like the same size as the elephant. Why are you putting a fully grown human on a baby elephant?
That's flying.
No, I'm asking you. I am actually asking you these questions.
It was in a movie full of baffling choices. It was the most baffling choice of the entire movie by a lot.
It doesn't make any sense. It makes
as if a flying elephant isn't enough.
It's not enough. We got to put a giant human on his back for no reason. She doesn't do anything extra. She's not like doing tricks on the back. Maybe if they combined the acts where she like does like some flips off of her swinging bars and then lands on Dumbo, like, but no, she just sits on it and then he flies around 5 times.
We're not going to. The initial scene where she actually flies on Dumbo is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in movies.
It looks so bad. It looks so bad.
The animation is terrible, and her like hunched over on the back of Dumbo.
I need to see what she's really on. I need a behind the scenes look of what they're making her ride because it is a terrible choice. Whatever it is the wrong size. She's hunched over, all weird. Her face is, dude, it's so bizarre. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Okay, so they do that. They're training. Max gets an office. Colin and Eva now begin to bond and fall in love. Talk about that love story, Tony.
I think I missed it. I don't know. Maybe you can fill me in because I didn't get any sort of connection, and then later there was a connection, and I was like, "Wait, what did I miss?" I don't even understand. But good for him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what? Good for her. They're both beautiful human beings, but he's a dullard, so he kind of sucks.
Vanderveer walks in. And he's like, before they've even like worked out the kinks, we've sold all the tickets. Tony, they've sold all the tickets. What does that
just
mean?
For one day?
I don't know.
Is it forever? I don't know.
All the tickets.
It's a really vague statement to make. I don't know. Great. Hey, good for you. All your tickets.
If a writer writes a line like that, someone should be reading the line like that and saying, "What is this line? This is
what
not.
Does this
this
mean?
Is not a line.
Fix this line. Just do a different words there. This is bad. This is bad writing.
Make words better.
Make words better. That's all. I would just put a line through it.
Oh, and
make words better.
This is when we see the awkward flight with Eva, and you're just like,
yeah.
If he was really a showman, Vanderveer, he would say, "This is not working." That's what he'd say.
I would. I said it. I said it in my house. I said, "Hey, this is not good, guys. We need to come up with a different plan here."
And at some point, he gives a speech about why things have to be his way, and it's incomprehensible.
It's similar to how Danny DeVito named his carnival the Brothers. That's the same sort of explanation we get.
Huh?
Like I still don't understand, sir.
Okay, boom. We have the opening night at the Coliseum. We have this giant production number that no one cares about. We set up Alan Arkin as the banker, and he's hoping that the flying element. What is he hoping that the flying elephant will help finance?
I don't know.
A trip to the moon.
Remember. That's not what he says. Is that real? That's in this movie? I only remember one Alan Arkin line from the entire film. I'm sure you know which one it is, but I don't remember that at all. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How's it? I can't.
Now Tony's going to give it. Now we have this nice 5-minute scene where they make balloons and we do the Pink Elephants on Parade song, and it's kind of like a fantasy. It's kind of like a fantasy.
Kind of. First, I have a question. This is a number from the original movie, I assume, yeah?
The mouse and Dumbo literally get drunk and have a nightmare fantasy about pink elephants on parade.
First of all, that's awesome. Why can't we just do that again? That's incredible.
If you haven't seen it, you should just go watch it on Disney Plus. It's 3/4 of the way through the movie. You'll see it. Pink elephants on parade. Da, 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 da. Pink elephants on parade.
I love it.
And it's great because kids watch it and they're just like, I'm going insane.
Right? Yeah, I mean that's what it sounds like. But Dumbo in this movie loves it.
I don't know.
He thinks this is like the coolest thing he's ever seen. Are they bubbles?
They're bubbles.
I didn't understand this.
They're bubbles. They're blowing bubbles, and the bubbles are dancing and doing. But
everything. How is that happening?
Science.
But no, it's not. I'm gonna tell you that right now, Dan, because otherwise I would have dancing bubbles in my house every day.
I think actually, Dumbo's hallucinating it. He's on LSD. Okay,
I like this.
Timothy
one of those feathers with covered in dust.
Covered in terrible, terrible LSD dust. I don't know. It's so weird.
It is.
It's like Tim Burton's like, okay, we're gonna do this here, and you're just like, what are you talking about?
But it doesn't work here. So he's like, no, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. No, It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and I didn't understand it at all because, again, I don't remember the original. But now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like if I did remember the original, I'd be more mad than I am now because this is terrible. This is awful, and it feels cheap. It feels like they're just like, well, we got to put the pink elephants in somewhere. I don't know. Just do it. Just put them in there. I don't know.
So now we put Dumbo on this platform, and it goes up to about 1,000 feet above the thing.
Let me ask you a question, Dan.
Yeah.
Every time we've put this elephant on a rising platform, he has panicked. He is clearly afraid of heights. Are you going to keep doing it to him every time? You're just going to make him get on a tall platform over and over and expect it to go differently?
I have no idea.
I would have slapped that man in the face with my trunk if I was the elephant.
They just
challenge
think
you
they
to a
need
duel.
to platform the hell out of this elephant.
Also, where are they getting these giant platforms from? They have so many super high rising platforms. I don't even understand how that works.
And then Eva Green comes out and she's swinging on a chandelier. And then there's no net, and everybody gets bent out of shape that there's no net.
As they should. That's how Robin's family died in Batman. Yeah. Tough stuff. The Flying Graysons. Oh, what a tragedy.
She goes up there. She gets on Dumbo. She claps her hand. She gets dust in Dumbo's nose. He sneezes her off.
As he would.
But Colin Farrell's able to throw her a rope, and she's fine.
And somehow she's falling from a 50 to a 100-foot platform, is able to grab onto a rope while falling and slide down, and somehow her hand isn't torn to shreds.
I did that.
Not a chance.
I did that once. I slid down a rope and destroyed my hands.
Oh, yeah. No. You don't do that, Dan.
It was very bad.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be able to climb down. Didn't have the power.
Oh, no.
Very bad. Very big mistake.
Oh, yeah. No, I can't even think about that.
So,
I'm sorry that happened to you,
And
Dan.
then Dumbo flies. He hears his mom, and he flies around a couple times, then he flies to Nightmare Island where Dumbo's mom is, and she's in a cage.
And Michael Keaton gets the line, "Where's my show?" Stupid line. It made me laugh because it was so dumb and didn't feel like something a human would say.
Okay, so Dumbo has flown out of the tent. He's flown to his mom on Nightmare Island, which is this spooky place where they have like alligators wearing suits because you got to put alligator in a suit.
So here's what I'm going to say. When they say the line, he's headed towards Nightmare Island, I got so excited. I was like, here we go. This is where I want to be. But then it was stupid. It's the dumbest place on earth. Like, yeah, why is it in a suit? How does that make it scarier than just a fucking normal animal? Like, I don't understand what's happening. I was, I don't know. I got all excited because I'm like Nightmare Island. That's what I want to do with my life. I would love to create like a horror themed park. I think that'd be super fun. It won't be like this shit. Tell you that.
And then the bad guys come and they drag Dumbo out of there. Like, you gotta go.
Yeah, pretty anticlimactic, to be honest with you.
Alan Arkin's banker's like, the bank is closed because it wasn't impressive. He didn't fly enough times around.
Yeah, exactly. I was a little confused. It was like, until you get it fixed. I was like, well, he flew. You saw him fly. What could you possibly be upset about? He fucking flew. It's an elephant, and he's flying. You're fine.
It's like, okay, we only got 2 minutes of it. We need 7. We need a strong 7.
I'm going to need more flying. I don't know. It's dumb, man.
Okay. In the office, somebody reunites. No, they don't reunite.
Wait, what? What?
I don't know what that means.
They're
going to kill the mom. So I think Vanderveer's like, okay, kill the mom because I can't tell you why we need to kill the mom.
I can tell you why, because he says that when his parents died, it was when he became self-sufficient. So he believes that nobody should have parents or something like that.
You have to fend for yourself.
Yeah, there you go. There's the line. So which makes zero sense.
Basically, as opposed to being a carnival person who wants to control things, he just wants to kill all parents.
All parents ever, they should be dead.
Okay, Colette bonds with the kids, and then Millie is gone, and they have to find Millie because she's gone.
Well, she like ran after Dumbo, maybe?
Yeah, maybe she done with him.
Where did... I don't know.
We go to the scientific exhibit, which is sort of based on Disneyland's Carousel of Progress.
Tomorrowland?
Carousel of Progress in Tomorrowland.
Okay. Yep.
And they're looking at this thing where there's all these robots, and you're like, this is 1919.
Yeah. When was like the World Fair? Because didn't they have cool stuff there at one time? And then everyone got murdered or something?
Yeah, that's what happened at the World's Fair. Everyone got murdered, Tony.
Everybody died, right?
It's a mass extinction event at the World's Fair.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's basically The Last of Us. That's what it's based
1939, 20 years from now is the New York World's Fair. So it's like they didn't even have the concept of robots at this point.
Yeah, you're wrong because they have a fancy robot hand at the end of this movie, Dan. So you don't know what you're talking about,
I don't know what I'm talking about. And then somebody says, it's our fault. I guess Millie probably said, it's our fault.
That's what she said, but
what?
Which part exactly? I'm not.
I mean, is she talking humankind? Is she talking our family? Is she? What is she talking?
I guess if it's the capital we, maybe she's talking about humans, and then I agree. But other than that, I've watched this movie, and at no point is any of this the kids' faults for sure. I don't know.
So they go, and we got this next scene is like the weird scene. The next day, everyone gets fired. Oh, he tells Danny DeVito, everybody's got to get fired, and you get to tell them. Okay.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
So now before they get fired, everybody's standing around Dumbo, and Dumbo's like laying there like this.
Yeah. Yep. That tongue is his trunk, by the way.
Yeah. And then everyone stands around him, and they say he's lost the will to fly. And then Vanderveer's butler comes in. He's like, they're going to kill Mama Jumbo. And then everybody's like, okay, we should try and set Mama Jumbo free. And then Dumbo's like, gets up and is like, yeah.
Yeah, yay.
How did Dumbo know that?
Dumbo seems to understand English in the movie, if I'm being honest, because sometimes Millie talks to him, and I'm like, yeah, no, Dumbo understands exactly what she said. The complex structure of that sentence, he totally understood it. So he knows English, which is great.
We're having the next night's show. No practice, no setup, no talks about maybe we get it right tonight.
You don't need it.
Cruise right into the next night's show.
You don't need it. Absolutely. Let's not waste time. Action set piece to action set piece. Let's do it.
Truck shows up to pick up Mama Jumbo. Our guys go to Nightmare Island, and they turn on the fog. They start doing things with the animals. They start turning out the lights. While back at the big top, we go through all the beats of what went wrong last night with the platform and the chandelier. Yeah. And you're just like,
why are we doing this again? We just did it. We just did it 6 minutes ago in this movie. Why am I seeing this all again? Yeah, that's how you feel. That's how you feel for about 8 minutes, Stan.
The circus people steal the truck in what I refer to as a tensionless scene.
A tensionless coup. I'm confused. Are some of them dressed like animals?
At some point, they do a whole thing with the mermaid lady drawing these two guys in, and then she throws them in the water. Then they get out. Then she throws them in the water again, and then they're dressed like the animal, the alligator in the costume
to stand up, and it's an alligator.
Fool people. I mean, I'd understood it if they did it to scare the people out of the location. Like there's a guard, and they dress up like the crocodile, and he runs away. But they just sort of do it, and then they turn the lights on, and they're like, "Surprise! We're dressed as
surprise! It's us." What? I don't.
I mean, if like all the contortionists like stood up to be Mama Jumbo when they came in to take Mama Jumbo, and it's like they turn on the light and it's all contortionists that were
and they all like separate and they're like, ta-da! I don't know.
That would have made sense, and then they'd all slip through the bars and escape. It's just like it's like an idea that doesn't serve a function.
Nope, not even a little bit. I don't.
So weird.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And then, of course, Vanderveer's like, "Get the kids." Like, what is he going to do with these kids? What does he care about the kids?
I think he's going to murder them because now not only do people not need parents, they don't need children. Let's get rid of everybody.
And the bad guy's like this German bald guy, and I was thinking of in Moulin Rouge when he sends his evil henchman to shoot. What's his name?
Yeah, sure.
There was tension in that. You're like, oh shit, this is bad.
Of course there is.
This thing, you're just like, what? He's going to go shoot these children to accomplish nothing.
So. In Dumbo, nope, not gonna happen.
Now you're gonna talk about what he's been training all movie to do, Tony. What's he been training?
Oh boy, yeah. This is a spectacle. Forget everything I've said about this circus not being very good because this is incredible. Get this, everybody. He's on a horse.
No,
in a very small.
This before the horse.
In a very small, maybe like a 10-foot radius.
This is before the horse.
This is before the horse. Then I don't remember what he does. Is this where they pin up his arm, by the way?
We're not talking about his arm. That's so weird. He has to climb one arm up the circus tent to cut the hole that Dumbo has to escape from when he's flying.
And let's just I just need to say one thing really quickly. His arm falls out of his sleeve. His false arm falls out of his sleeve and he's like embarrassed or something. And then Ava Green grabs a pin and then rolls up the sleeve and pins it as if like this is like a romantic move. I didn't understand the motivation. But yeah, then he climbs a tent. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I want to talk about his horse show because boy is it good.
Now, why do they have to cut a hole in the tent when Dumbo could just fly out the exit like he did the night before?
I'll think of something. Maybe there's guards at the exit this time because they know.
Do they show us that? Do they show us barring the gates?
No, but you know, Dan. You don't need. Do you need to be shown everything, Dan? Boy, audiences are smarter than that. Okay.
So Dumbo does his
context.
Dumbo does his flight with Eva Green on his back, and it looks better this time because she's like standing up, or not standing up, but upright.
Sure. Spread. Yeah,
she's spread. They fly out the hole, and then they fly to the command tower. You want to talk about the command
just
tower?
Real quickly, they hit Colin Farrell as they fly out? Doesn't he tumble back down the net or the tarp? I don't understand.
You want to talk about what happens when they get up to the command tower?
They fly into the command tower. They break a window,
they
land
on the landing,
in it.
Then they walk in. They don't break through a window. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I think they break a window. I'm going to stick with they break a window. And they're in there, and one of the guy goes, "Hey, you're not supposed to be in here." And then she grabs a power thing, turns it off, and he's like, "Hey, you can't do that." And then he grabs her, and then the elephant goes and grabs the other one, and the guy's like, "Stop the elephant." And then the other guy, because there's two cars, and the other guy's like, "You stop the elephant." And then nobody stops the elephant, and then the elephant just pulls the thing down, and then the power's out.
No, the elephant pulls down like 20 switches. The elephant pulls this one. Pulls this one. Pulls this one. The elephant then moves across the room, Dumbo, and the main power thing pulls the main power thing. So I'm assuming they trained the elephant Dumbo to do all this somehow.
I wouldn't expect that. They had just like Ocean's 11. They created an exact replica of the control room downstairs and let him practice for days. Yeah, it's weird, man. This is a weird
The lights
movie.
go out, and boom.
Right.
Vanderveer, who is down on ground level, literally 10 seconds, he's up this gigantic tower that has no elevator, that has a giant stairway.
It's very fast.
And he's up there.
Yeah, he's very fast, Dan. This is Michael Keaton. He's Batman. He can go anywhere he wants. He's got a utility belt.
And then he goes crazy. And he's just pushing all the buttons.
He's waving his arms.
And because he does that, his whole amusement park burns down.
Well, hold on. Because someone does warn him one of those guards is like, Mr. But not in. It was one of my favorite parts of the movie because he's basically, and this is the exact intonation. Stop, Mr. Vanderbilt. What's his name? Vanderhood? Vanderveer? Stop, Mr. Vanderveer. You can't do it. Stop. And then it's on fire. The guy, I don't even understand what was happening, but that guy did not audition for that role. I'm just going to tell you that right now. That is a friend of a friend somewhere, and they're just like, just put him in the movie, guy. Come on, Tim. He's my best friend. Put him in the movie.
Tim Burton's chiropractor's son, who's like wants to get a break in the business.
Stop. You can't do it. Stop it. It's so bad.
So, Millie and the other stupid boy, they run into the burning tent. Why do they run into the burning tent? Because they're chased in there?
I thought they were already in the tent. Or maybe they did run back. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're running away from the bald guy and they run into the tent.
It's a bad move.
Then Colin has to horse. Did you want to talk about him and the horsing?
No, not yet. My horsing is the end of the movie. Now I'm remembering. What I want to talk about.
After they so
yeah, after once we're in the happy ever
so
after.
He goes in there. He hog ties the dude or ties the dude to the horse, and then the horse and the drags him out of the burning tent. And they're trapped in the burning tent. And then Dumbo like hears them or knows they're there.
Something.
So he gets water and comes back there and. Like very easily just sort of blows out a little bit of fire and they just sort of walk out.
Just enough to create a path. Yeah.
And then Vanderveer has to watch as his whole thing burns.
Yep. And then my favorite line in the movie, what is it, Dan?
Is it the line you can't understand? He has one line that you can't understand what he says.
Oh, no.
He's like,
I'm sure there's actually plenty of those.
And I listened to it 3 times, and I was trying to figure out because it was like one of Vanderveer talking about why life is the way it is. Could not figure out what the word was.
No idea what he said.
Turn on the closed caption.
Every time.
No, stupid of me. I could have done that.
You should have. But is that somebody trying to listen and type it? Because maybe they couldn't understand it either, and maybe it's just gobbledygook. No, my favorite line, Dan. Is Alan Arkin while they're watching this place burn. Do you remember this?
He says something kind of funny. It's not appropriate. It doesn't sound like a banker. It sounds like Alan Arkin's just standing there kind of like...
It's just Alan Arkin having a good time of the day. He says, where is it? Oh, boy, where is it? Come on. No emotion. Yep. Okay, here it is. Alan Arkin, while they're watching this place burn to the ground, he goes, wow, this is a disaster. And then he turns... Then he turns to Danny DeVito and he goes, come on, I'll buy you a hot dog. And then they walk off. And that's the last time you see him. It's incredible. It makes up for everything I just watched. I laughed so hard. Come on, I'll buy you a hot dog. Where's he gonna get a hot dog, Dan? The place is burning down.
And so the kids are like to Dumbo, they're like, Dumbo, if you're gonna get out of here, you gotta fly. And they're like, we don't have a feather. They have a feather. They burn the feather. And then she's like, this is a key, and the key doesn't mean anything. It's a bunch of bullshit that my mom said, so throw it away, just like the feather. The feather's a bunch of bullshit. Throw it away. Throw it away.
And I'm going to be fine. And that's the moral of the story. You don't need keys.
And then the kids fly away on Dumbo, and then you look up, and the Dreamland sign has turned into Reamland. Because everybody got reamed.
Is that... Dan, I didn't notice that at all, but that's funny. Reamland, you got.
And then everybody gets to the docks and they put the elephant and Dumbo on the ship, and the ship's going to sail and just take him back home. Tony, what's the percentage chance that elephant would make it back home and they would unload that thing and let it be free?
Now, mathematically speaking, can you do negative percentages? Is that possible? Like a negative 100%? He's definitely going to die?
Okay, I run a ship, and someone just put the most valuable animal in the world on the ship.
Yeah.
Am I going to just
what are you gonna
take
do,
it
Dan?
somewhere and let it go? Do like the animal rights thing, me ship captain?
The animal rights. Why is animal rights in quotes? The animal rights. I don't believe in any of that. No, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it, Dan. You're going to take it and make a bunch of money on it. Maybe you're going to sell it to somebody. I don't know. Maybe, you know what's going to happen? Vanderpump is going to buy it back. That wasn't his name. It's just going to buy the elephant back from this guy that's flying the ship. Another $1 million. I would take
piloting the ship, not flying the ship. It is a boat ship. Captaining the ship.
Yeah, I don't know. Did I say flying?
Flying the ship.
He's flying the boat. Yeah,
so then we get to see the circus. The circus is now a no animals in captivity circus, which is just like
this. Please. Yeah, we need to talk about this. Dan, what are the new attractions that have made this better than the original circus?
Which they would make a lot. They would make a lot of money from the movies.
Listen,
a lot of money.
I believe you. Other than that, what else you got?
You have a guy riding a horse with a robot arm.
Okay, let's talk about Colin Farrell. It's about time. So here's his act, okay? It is a 15-foot circumference track. He's riding a horse very slowly, a soft gallop at best, in a circle, and then he's just shooting balloons. Listen, I know that I'm sure it's hard to shoot while you're riding, but he's going very slowly. Okay, it's not that hard to shoot while you're going that slowly. He doesn't do any tricks. He doesn't do anything interesting. And then Ava just flies down, lands on the back of the horse, doesn't do shit.
But how does what was she floating on?
Also balloons, which doesn't make any sense. This science is wild in this movie. But what is exciting about this act, Dan? Please tell me. What am I missing?
Science. There's science movies.
Science movies. You son of a bitch. You and your movies.
Meanwhile, in Asia, the elephants get home and Dumbo flies.
And here's the biggest problem with the movie. Now that you've told me about the original Dumbo, all of these elephants are cool with him. Apparently, elephants wouldn't be cool with him. They would be like, you're a freak. Get out of here. So I don't believe it. I don't believe anything that happens.
And that's...
This whole movie's baloney.
That is Tim Burton. You know, somebody was talking about Tim Burton. They're like, last good movie he made was Ed Wood. And it's like, this poor guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done...
What else has he made? When was Ed Wood? That was like the 90s, wasn't it? Nah, he's done stuff since then that's good, right? I'm going to look them up. Tell me, what are some movies?
Well, I mean, what movies we've done? Well, we did Dark Shadows.
I mean, we've done a couple.
We did Dark Shadows, which was terrible. We did Planet of the Apes, which was really just one of the worst.
Also terrible, yeah. Not a good start.
I think you did Big Fish after Ed Wood, and Big Fish was pretty good.
Oh, I like Big Fish. Big Fish, Ewan McGregor. Boy, I love that guy.
But I mean, if you really look at Big Fish, there's a bunch of stuff in Big Fish that you're like, you could do without. All the circus stuff was terrible.
It's so beautiful that I forgive it. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's a lovely story. Yep. Okay, here we go. Frankenweenie, 2012. Dude, I think people liked Frankenweenie, right? Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, a movie that we're probably going to do on this podcast at some point. He
directed that?
He's a producer on it. You're right. I should do just directing. Good point. What else we got here? Oh, he did Wednesday on Netflix this year.
People liked it.
I heard good things. Haven't watched it, but I heard good things. Oh, Alice in Wonderland. I watched the first. Sweeney Todd.
I watched the first episode of it and I turned it off. I was like, it's not for me.
It's not for me, but not because it was terrible.
I mean,
right?
It's, yeah.
Corpse Bride. Oh, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I hated that movie. Big Fish, 2003. Planet of the Apes, 2001. Sleepy Hollow. I loved that movie.
I did not like that movie.
Yeah, and then Ed Wood. Yeah, so, I mean, it's not great. That person's not totally wrong.
So...
It's just a 23-year slump.
He's
fine.
Coming back.
He's going to come back.
So, Tony, give us something you like this week.
You're not gonna like my answer, Dan. But my answer, there's a new. Oh, I don't have my phone. There's a new game by Niantic, who made Pokemon Go. It's called Peridot, and it's a virtual pet. So you take it for walks and you feed it and you forage for goodies. And then what's great about it is when it becomes an adult, which takes a couple of days probably to make it an adult, you can mate it with other people's Peridots and make children and then start all over again with those babies. And you can just make tons of little creatures. So my creature's a little bit of a slut, and he's been sleeping all over town, Dan.
Jesus Christ.
I think it's made for children though, but life lessons. This is how you make babies, folks.
Oh, Tony.
It's fun. It's a treat.
We've been watching the show What's My Line, which is an old game show from 1955, where you have a panel of people and then a person comes on and then they try and guess what the person does for a living.
Oh,
and
interesting.
It's like lady police officer or owns a pickle factory.
Sure.
And
is that a real one? Owns a pickle factory? Because I love that. That is incredible.
And they have like the guy that flew the helicopter to pick up the astronaut guys when they came back down. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Lots of interesting things. The Secretary of Labor was on there when we watched last night.
Oh, no one knows who that is.
And then they also have very funny. They also have they have one celebrity on there. So they have like Van Johnson or somebody like that. So
and who is that? Who's Van Johnson? Is that a person? Okay.
So it's just really interesting to sort of see the world that they were sort of living in right then. It's really, because it's real.
Where is this, Dan? Where are you finding this?
Buzzr, which is the game show Rewind Network on Amazon, I think.
Oh boy, that sounds great.
Yeah, we've been watching all. There's also a show called I've Got a Secret that we've been watching some of, and
I've Got a Secret.
It's just super fun to watch old game shows.
I love it, yeah,
because you get a little peek into the past. So Tony,
for sure. Yeah,
a movie for
Here
us.
We go.
You got something special.
Yes,
sitting in your old hip pocket.
All right, I think I've told you about this movie, but before I give you the answer, I want to read to you from the trailer.
Oh, no.
The trailer's it's incredible, and I implore anyone who's interested whatsoever to watch the trailer before we do our next show. It's great. You don't have to watch the whole movie, but watch this trailer. It is brilliant. But here, you know how they do voiceovers in trailers? So it's just, I love it so much. So the end of the trailer, they do the tagline, and then it says starring, and it lists who's in the movie. The tagline is, "Get off this summer with Zapped."
Oh, it's
so
Zapped.
Already a good start. You remember
it's
Zapped?
It's like a teen sex comedy, I think.
It is a teen sex comedy, and boy, is it offensive. From what I can tell. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but just wait. So here's where it gets me, is it says, starring Scott Baio. That's a person.
Just left California.
Willie Ames.
Oh, man.
That's a person. Albert Einstein. Not an actor. That's a character in the movie, guys. It's so stupid. Scatman Crothers. I don't even know if that's a real person.
You know
is
exactly
that a real person?
who Scatman Crothers is.
I do.
I will name his seminal role that you'll be like, him? He played the guy that taught in The Shining. He's the guy that taught Danny to shine. That's Scatman Crothers.
That's his real name?
I mean, I'm sure
Okay.
Scatman is, his mom didn't say, "Oh, you'll be called Scatman."
Now, do you know who Scatman's wife is?
In real life? Or in this movie?
I don't know the answer to that, Dan, because the next line in the starring is his over-persuasive wife. And then it cuts to a woman who is talking. And I'm like, I don't know if that's his real wife or his movie wife. I have no idea. But she is in the movie. And then it cuts to a couple who are sliding under a table, and it goes, an outrageous pair. And then it cuts to a woman's breasts, and it says, an incredible pair. This trailer is amazing. It's the best thing I've ever seen. And it ends with starring a team of professional exorcists and a half-naked cast of thousands. So I'm ready for this. It's Zapped. We're going to see all sorts of naked people. And I'm so
All sorts of
excited
naked
for
people
this.
that we don't want to see naked.
100%. Yeah, without a doubt.
We have access to this movie.
The DVD is supposed to be at my house
Okay.
tomorrow, and I will I'll
find
get
a
you
way
a
to
copy.
watch that.
Dan, I'm so excited. Just if you don't remember the synopsis, I just got to tell you what it is. It's a kid who develops telekinesis,
Oh.
and his friend convinces him to use it to manipulate women, undress them. It is going to be the worst movie of all time. I'm pretty sure, and I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Oh, Christ. Well,
You're going to need Christ next week. I'll tell you that,
we'll
buddy.
be back next week with Zapped.
Zap!
If you like our show, leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, or even subscribe. The way of showing that you care. And we'll be back next week talking about Zapped with Scott Baio. Hooray!
Woo! Goodbye, everybody!
Hey, watch him!